Progress.
Thank you. Good evening. This is a meeting of the Wellfleet Selectboard, public meeting on Tuesday, July 22, 2025 at 6 p.m. And as customary, we will begin with announcements and public comments. Public comments are limited to no more than 3 minutes per speaker. The board will not deliberate or vote on any matter raised solely during announcements and public comments. So with that, do we have any announcements from the board, first of all?
Just very quickly that I'm participating remotely.
Yes, go ahead.
That's it. That's the announcement.
That was the announcement.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Sheila, do you want to do the one from Lily Marl?
What's that?
Sheila?
I'm sorry.
Do you want to do the one from Lily Marl?
Oh, yes. Just to let people know that there is currently public comment going on for the Cape Cod Commission is updating their regional policy plan. And it's an interesting document, and it does involve a lot of different aspects. And right now, it is open for public comment. You can go to their website, capecodcommission.org, and you will find it there if you would like to read it and make comments. Thank you.
One other, it'll be a redundant, just to remind folks that the public comment period for the TWMP for the wastewater issue is before the Mass Environmental Policy Act, folks, MEPA. The town was able to get an extension on that public comment from July 11th to August 8th. So anyone who wants to submit comment can still do that till August 8th.
And the regional policy plan ends August 25th.
Okay.
Thank you. And one other thing I would like to say is that the Barnstable County Department of Health is conducting free water quality, free well tests. So, and it does encompass, it's a very detailed testing. It would cost, a lot of money if you went to do this on your own. And what they're trying to do is just get a baseline of water quality on the Outer Cape. And you can find, if you have any questions about that, but it's posted on our website on the front page, and you can go to Barnstable County Department of Health or capecod.gov and then find the Department of Health, and there's further instructions on how to go about applying for them to come, and if you have questions about it, they will answer it for you. Thank you.
There's an announcement that looks like I was requested to make. This is from Lily Green.
Oh, I just did that.
Oh, is that the one? Is that the same one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
good.
so just to follow up on what Sheila said, there's actually a public hearing for the Outer Cape subregion on I believe it's the 31st. 1 second. August 1st in the Eastham Library. And that's for the Outer Cape region. And the regional policy plan is more than just document. It outlines basically how the Cape Cod Commission will be making different determinations on projects that are before it. So it is something that's fairly important. People should, if they're interested, take the opportunity and participate.
Okay, thank you. Anything else from the board? Seeing none, we'll now go to public comment. Is there anyone in the room who would like to offer a public comment? Seeing none, we will now go online.
I have Gary Dion.
Mr. Dion is online.
Mr. Dion?
Let me just unmute him.
Okay.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me? I think I've been unmuted.
Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Chairman, can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name's Gary Dion. I'm from 6 Fieldstone Court in Grafton, Mass. There is a joint meeting between the Select Board and the Board of Health scheduled for tomorrow, July 23rd, which is no longer on the town's meeting schedule. At the July 9th Board of Health meeting, the board continued a petition that I filed as well as one other petitioner, which was also continued to the next Board of Health meeting on August 13th. The board stated the reason was they would not hear either petition pending the outcome of that July 23rd joint meeting with the Select Board. So now, now that the meeting's been canceled, I am concerned we're at risk of not having a petition heard even in August as scheduled. I wonder if you could explain what the purpose of the joint meeting is and when it will be rescheduled for. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Would anybody want to respond to that?
Yeah, the joint meeting was going to be,
Okay, Mike.
I'm sorry, the joint meeting was going to be a discussion between the Health Board and the Select Board in regards to its current, the current Board of Health regulations and passing of the torch, so to speak, even though it has been the Select Board to take over the heft of the wastewater planning and implementation moving forward. The meeting between the Select Board and the Health Board will be rescheduled for August. We don't have a date at that time, at this point. However, you have given us a window and a buffer to have, so this is hopefully done before the 13th.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Do we have anyone else online? I didn't see anyone, but.
No.
Okay.
Okay, going once, going twice. In that case, we will move on to the consent agenda. Do we have anyone on the board who wishes to remove anything from the consent agenda? It doesn't look like there's.
There's only the use of property, and I would,
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the following items with no objection. Use of town property, Billy Starks and Bill Fitzgerald for a wedding ceremony and reception at Mayo Beach and Bakersfield Pavilion, September 27th, 2025, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. for a fee of $300.
second.
Second, roll call vote. Sorry.
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Brian, I.
John, aye. Moving on to public hearings. Let me just pull this up. Okay, I now move to open the public hearing on the application for a special event liquor license to be received by First Congregational Church of Wellfleet, August 9th, 2025, to serve beer and wine for a silent and live auction. Do we have anybody from there that wishes to?
Hang on, let me just unmute her. Yep, she just needs to unmute now.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. My name is Meredith Blakely, and I'm on the committee for this auction with Suzanne Thomas, Gary Cooper, and Ron Spinks for August 9th.
And this is something that's been done in the past, I believe.
Yep,
Yes.
and it looks like
Yes.
everybody signed off on it, so.
And mix.
Do we have anyone in the room who wishes to comment on this? Is there anybody online?
No, you're all set.
Okay, in that case, I will take a motion.
I'm not doing the right one. So it's, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the one-day special event liquor license to the First Congregational Church of Wellfleet for on August 9th to sell beer and wine at their silent and live auction event.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Brian, I.
John, aye. Passes 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now, I'll take a motion to close the hearing.
I think,
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Brian, I.
And John, aye. Now I now open the public hearing for Billy Starks and Bill Fitzgerald to be approved for a special event liquor license. Are either of
And
the principals here?
They were on, I don't know what happened, but I can tell you this is the use of town property
Right.
approved. It's been signed off by all the department heads. The only issue is that the fire chief has asked to inspect the food truck when they have it, and it's been agreed upon.
Okay. Do we have any comment in the room on this or questions? Anything online? I'm not seeing anything. Seeing none, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve Billy Starks and Bill Fitzgerald's application for a one-day special event liquor license for a wedding reception at Mayo Beach Pavilion to be held on September 27th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. for a fee of $175.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Brian, I.
And John, aye. Passes 5-0. I now
Close that hearing.
move to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Brian, I.
John, aye. On to the last of the public hearings. Smile Mass to be approved for a one-day special event liquor license.
She's on. Her name is Susan Brown.
I'm here.
Okay, you want to tell us about Smile?
So Smile is a nonprofit. We are based in Sudbury, Massachusetts, but we do recreation and vacation for individuals with disabilities. And in November, we purchased a house in Wellfleet that we renovated to make it handicapped accessible. And we are just having an open house for our clients and our donors on Sunday. And we would love to have a liquor license for it. It's from 3 to 6. And right now we have 41 people RSVP'd, yes. So, we might get a few more, and we might get, some of those people's plans might change. So we're estimating, 50 people over the course of 3 hours.
Okay.
Do we have any questions from the board?
Have the department heads signed off on this one?
Yeah.
Terrific. I can see it on the.
Any questions from in the room? Seeing none, any questions online? I do not see any. In that case, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve this special event liquor license to Smile Mass for an open house to be held on July 27th, 2025, for their clients and donors, and they will pay a fee of $125.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Brian, I.
And John, aye.
Okay,
Passes
thank you. Good luck.
5-0. I'll take a motion to close the hearing.
So
Thank you
moved.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Brian, I.
John, aye. Now we move on to board and committee appointments and updates. Item A, requested by Florence Heller to be appointed as a voting member of the Wellfleet Cultural Council.
Is Florence here?
Is,
Florence is here.
oh, there we are.
Come on up, Florence.
You can come up if you like.
Come up here. Could be closer, but you're over there now, right there at that microphone. Yes.
Kevin McMahon is on if you have any questions.
Who is?
Kevin McMahon.
Oh, okay.
Cultural Council.
Welcome and thank you for stepping up.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Would you care to introduce yourself and why you're?
We have your little background, but you might want to say it for.
Yeah, not a problem. So hi, I'm Florence Heller. I live here in Wellfleet, down the block actually. I was interested in the Cultural Council. I'm a film director and writer. Moved back from LA 2 years ago. Worked out there for a long time in commercials. Now I freelance from here. Work in film and theater. Have 2 degrees in it. I don't know what else you need to know about it.
No, it looks
Yeah.
like you have a lot of good skills there.
Yeah, I have a slew of skills in film and theater at this point, yes.
Sounds like a really good fit to me.
It does.
It's great to see someone from former ad life in town as well.
Yeah, it's always nice to meet other people who do it too.
Great.
You need a horn player for commercial jingles, let me know.
I promise to keep you in mind. The next time there's a commercial
kidding.
jingle with a horn.
We're breaking open.
Just kidding.
Soliciting business.
So If there's any further questions from the board?
No.
Anyone?
So, Mr. Chair, I would move to appoint Florence Heller and thank her for stepping up as a voting member to the Wellfleet Cultural Council for a term of 3 years, and you are to be sworn in by the town clerk before voting at an upcoming meeting and read all the materials from the clerk regarding being a member of a Wellfleet board or committee.
Sounds great.
Okay, since
Second.
Jennifer, you'll go into.
So it's been seconded, roll call vote,
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Ryan, I.
and John, aye.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
So
it.
much.
Have a good night.
Is
You
you
too.
too.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Okay, now we move to item B on appointments and updates. Requested by Karen Kaminsky, Sarah Blackwell, and Joseph Valelli to appoint Karen, Sarah, and Joseph to the Wellfleet Local Housing Partnership as voting at-large members. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah, thank you.
Oh, okay,
Karen's
the
on
others
here.
online.
Karen's on, yeah.
Would you like to say
like to-
anything?
Would you mind coming to the microphone, please?
You can just come to this microphone and,
Housing has always been an issue for me since I graduated NASA in 1978, so I think I know something about this.
okay. I'm sure
So
you'll
I
be,
thought I'd try to be part of the solution.
I think that's a good thing. And would anybody else like to say anything of these other applicants or questions?
Ken is unmuted.
Karen, anything you want to?
Hi. I love the fact that Sarah is applying for the local housing partnership. I think she'll be an intelligent, informed voice for the partnership.
Great.
All right, thank you. And
Is Joseph on there too? And it's okay.
well, he's certainly, all three of them certainly, their resumes look like a good fit.
All right.
So unless anyone has anything else, I'll take a
No,
motion.
there's room, as we talked about at the last meeting.
Yeah.
so.
So, Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Karen Kaminsky, Sarah Blackwell, and Joseph Valley to the Wellfleet Housing Partnership as at-large members for terms of 3 years to be sworn in by the town clerk before voting at an upcoming meeting.
Second.
Second.
Roll call vote,
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Ryan, I.
and John, aye.
Okay, good luck.
Welcome.
Can't wait to see all those solutions.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank all three of you for stepping up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm recused from the Herring River.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And we now,
Yeah, it is. I was just wondering if we could take the other one out of order, and then you could, but that's all right. We got reports and everything, so.
So does,
Katie Klein is on, and
I think we probably have Katie, this is Ms. Klein on?
Yes.
yes, she is.
Okay, so we get to our first item of actual business, to discuss and approve a warrant article for fall town meeting. This concerns to offer, the offer of property at Williams Pond, Assessors Map 4-40, to the Cape Cod National Seashore in exchange for a fee interest in a parcel of land on Chequesset Neck Road and for easements off Bound Brook Island Road. Vote that the acquisition and near contemporaneous transfer of the Williams Pond property to the Cape Cod National Seashore in furtherance of the Herring River Restoration Project are not subject to Section 70-1 of the Wellfleet General Bylaws, disposal of real property, and/or the policy on disposition of town-owned land, Policy 2003-1. With that, we'll have...
Mr. Chairman, just as an introduction for people at home who have not been up to date on this, this is part of the Herring River Restoration Program, and This particular piece of land is down by the bridge, the new bridge, and at one end of that new bridge, there'll be a small parking area and a kayak, if you will, launch type area or passive type recreation for that. The rules require, if the National Park Service is going to donate, they can't just donate.
Right.
There has to be an equal
Land.
or reciprocal swap. Attorney Klein, people from the Herring River, Jay Norton as well, have been working on this for quite a while. And as you remember, there was some issue with ownership and people who had passed on type of thing. And so we're at a point now where Katie can bring this before the select board to make a determination whether they want to put this on town meeting in October.
Okay.
All right. So I guess next we will need to hear from Ms. Klein.
Good evening. Yeah, so Tom explained the land exchange process, and what it is we have the town will acquire a parcel of land at Chequesset Neck near the bridge for recreation and parking purposes, and will also acquire some easements off Bound Brook Island Road for a driveway for slope purposes that serves a private residence. And that's in order to, so that there wouldn't be flooding on this private driveway. But as Tom explained, the town is going to, or I believe the select board has already indicated that, or voted to offer a property at Williams Pond Road that the town doesn't currently own in this land exchange. And the town has both a bylaw, which is 70-1, which requires that the town go to, that any disposition of property go through town meeting vote, and we are intending to do that. And there's also in that that bylaw, there's also a requirement that the any disposition of property go to before the Open Space Committee, and the Open Space Committee comment and make recommendations on whether or not this particular parcel of property should be disposed of. And under the policy from 2003, that's a select board policy, the select board refers the disposition of property to the planning board and various boards and commissions prior to proceeding to town meeting. And in this situation, I think this is a somewhat unique situation in that the disposition of both the Williams Pond parcel to the National Seashore and the easements, which will be acquired from the seashore and then subsequently assigned to the private property owner, don't really fit very well into the policy and the bylaw, in the sense that these are not currently town-owned properties. And the reason that the town is acquiring the properties is expressly for the for the Herring River Restoration Project, and to advance that. And so, and then the second thing is that I want to make it clear that town meeting will approve both the acquisition and disposition of these parcels. And so, it was my thought that the select board could, in its discretion, determine not to to refer these matters to the boards and commissions in the town because the select board has already indicated that the sole purpose of acquiring these parcels is for the land exchange. On the other hand, if the board is, if the board wishes to, refer this to the Open Space Committee with the caveat that the Open Space Committee know that the express purpose for which the town is acquiring the property, it's certainly within its authority to do that, as well as to refer these matters to the boards and commissions that the policy addresses. So it is, I'm bringing this, I wanted to be sure that the select board was aware of these policies and made a determination as to whether or not they think that they apply in this case, and if they don't determine, because of the unique circumstances, say that they don't, necessarily apply, or the select board, of course, within its discretion, could make the referrals under the bylaw and the policy.
Okay, do we have any questions?
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, through you.
Oh, sure.
A few questions. The Williams Pond parcel, to my understanding, it's essentially no man's land. Through title search, we've been unable to identify a clear owner of this parcel. Is that accurate?
That's accurate.
Okay. And so step one, I'm just a little confused on just the packet we have, because we're asking for a warrant article for fall town meeting, but then we're saying that the rules for this particular parcel don't apply. Are you suggesting, in your legal opinion, that we don't have to bring this to town meeting, that we could at the discretion of the board? Or are you saying that we just might not have to refer it to the planning board and open space committee?
The latter.
Okay.
The town absolutely needs to go to town meeting for the acquisition and the disposition. I don't mean to suggest or to indicate that in any way that's state law. I'm referring solely to the the town bylaw and the referral to the committees when the select board has already indicated the express purpose for which the parcel is being acquired. Definitely, we would need to go to town meeting.
Understood.
Ryan, I see you have your hand up.
Yeah, similar, just because of what's in the packet, is basically to exempt this transfer from the town's bylaws, which, I mean, the policy is its own thing, separate from the bylaws, but bylaws are, bylaws. And then so what would the exemption be that you're looking for from the bylaw? What property is involved in that?
I was thinking that the Williams Pond parcel, which is the town would acquire for the land exchange, and then the town is actually acquiring easements off Bound Brook Island Road from the seashore, and then assigning or transferring, which is a disposition, to the private property owner. So it would be those two parcels. Well, I mean, it's actually three parcels, but Williams Pond and the Bound Brook Island easements. And my thought behind the disposal, the bylaw, I agree that bylaws need to be adhered to, except in this case, it isn't town real property because it's not owned by the town currently. So I was thinking that, I mean, it's sort of, there are a lot of hoops that the town would go through. Going to the planning board, going to the open space commission, committee when it isn't, this is not the situation where the town is, currently owns property and is disposing of it. It's acquiring it and then basically a nanosecond or contemporaneously is disposing of the property. But as I've indicated, the select board certainly can determine that, section 70-1 should be adhered to, and that the open space committee should hold a public hearing. That would be an exercise that would be, I think the conservative, way to go. But not necessary, because as I say, it's not town property.
Yeah, so there's a difference again between policy and bylaws. But the bylaw only says that the open space committee has to hold a public hearing. The other referrals are in the policy, and policies are more fungible. And so they're not, equivalent necessarily. The questions I'm having, all right, so Williams Pond, we don't own it, but, it's always been listed as town-owned property. That obviously, in my opinion, should go before town meeting. I don't, we've been working on this since 2021. I want to say, on land exchange. So it's a very slow process, and waiting a few months for the fall town meeting makes a lot of sense to me. The question, unless there's a pressing reason as to why not to, and then but the other question I'm having is over the easements that we would then be transferring. So would you be looking to do like either the same article or a different article for those easements, or would those be treated differently?
There are actually two articles that are proposed at this point. I actually don't know if the select board has those, but they are being treated differently in the sense that there's an article whereby the town would vote to acquire Williams Pond, that parcel, through a taking, and because that's the only way that the town can really acquire it. And so there's a separate article for that purpose. And then there's another article that talks about the acquiring both the Chequesset Neck parking and recreation area, and acquiring easements from the seashore along Bound Brook Island Road, but then authorizing the town to, or the select board, I should say, to assign those two parcels, whether two easement parcels, to the owner of 695 Bound Brook Island Road. So it's a somewhat complicated article, but there are two actual articles with subparts.
Yeah,
Okay, we don't have copies of those.
well, yeah, that's, we actually do.
No, we don't. Not of articles for town meeting.
No, we don't have
No,
those.
we don't have the articles.
We don't have the articles, but the amended agenda item speaks of crafting two articles for town meeting.
Yeah, but we just don't have the copy.
Right.
And then, so if you'll indulge me a little bit more, Mr. Chair.
Sure.
The property that we would be transferring, or I would say the easement property, in particular, Will we run into any issues with procurement over that? Because towns are limited in what they can dispose of, and how they can dispose of it, especially when private parties are involved.
These are public.
If I could interject just for a second, the properties, the Williams Pond properties are not privately owned.
No, I'm talking about the easements that are on Bound Brook, for, it's basically, a private owner's, pre-existing right-of-way needs to be elevated. And it needs to, as part of that, the right-of-way also needs to be widened to accommodate the elevation. And so the town is undertaking that as far as mitigation, for the impacts to, to the impacts there, on that private individuals. But then there are requirements around how a town can dispose, or it's basically in procurement about how they can,
This doesn't apply.
transfer property to private parties. I'm just wondering if we'll run into any issues there. Some of it is dependent upon the valuation of
It
the
is,
property
yeah.
transferred.
It does depend on the valuation. You're right, you are correct. And I guess the question is whether or not a slope easement exceeds $35,000. And I mean, because that is the cutoff.
Yeah. It's what, 3/4 of an acre?
It is approximately 3/4 of an acre of slope. Yeah, I mean, it's graded slope area. I don't know. I suppose we could have the assessor look at the value of that.
Is,
I can't imagine, given the purpose for which this slope area is, I mean, it's sort of useless. I can't imagine that.
Exactly.
we're going to gum it up.
Yeah. I have to say that this, we're kind of getting into some weeds that I don't think we need to get into on this. Ms. Klein, would you agree?
Well, I'm happy to answer any questions that there are to the best of my ability. I mean, as I say, I was trying to sort of streamline this process if possible, but as I say, the select board can certainly, refer this to the open space committee for a public hearing.
And just a little bit more, Mr. Chair. So I think one of the challenges there, in addition to just the slope nature of it, is it's not a fee simple. So it's an easement rather than a fee simple.
Correct.
Which would obviously affect the valuation. So, I would say that there's a lot of examples of marsh sales that are higher than what you would expect them to be. But with an easement, I don't think you would run into the same issue. I just wanted to double check that as we were going through this. So, thank you.
I see that Carol Ridley has her hand up. Carol? You'll have to.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Carol Ridley, Project Coordinator for the Herring River Restoration Project. I just wanted to, just for kind of a point of clarification, and to your comment a moment ago, Mr. Chairman, note that It was just a couple of weeks ago when we sort of discussed the outlines of this exchange with you at a special public meeting. And it was my understanding at that time that the board voted unanimously to agree to the concept of this land exchange whereby the town would receive the parking area adjacent to the bridge that's been noted, along with these easements, which are on Cape Cod National Seashore property that is adjacent to a deeded private access way that needs to be elevated as part of the project. And in exchange would seek to acquire and convey to the park the fee interest in the Williams Pond parcel. And that I believe at that time, Katie had provided the draft warrant articles to accomplish those tasks. And those were voted at the meeting a few weeks ago. Our question this evening then would be simply whether or not the town seeks to, or the board seeks to apply the policy and the particular bylaw regarding notification of other town committees. So I just wanted to make sure I had that understanding correctly, and maybe for those listening, that's really our question this evening, is the application of the policy and the notification bylaw. Is that your understanding as well?
Yes.
That would be my understanding, yeah.
Okay,
So, Mr. Chair?
terrific. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So,
Go ahead, Josh.
I mean, I agree with town council's opinion that neither of these are subject to the bylaws that are outlined. However, I do think it'd be prudent to hold a public hearing for the Open Space Committee, so I'm ready to make a motion to that effect if you would entertain it.
Well, when do they meet? Would we be able to get all
We
this
will.
done?
So we have plenty of time.
Okay.
That's the town meeting is October 22nd. If the board chooses to do this, you know, we follow the policy here, or we'll let the people know within 14 days. We'll let them know immediately after the board votes. We will contact specifically the Open Space Committee to let them know they need to hold a meeting. I will acquire the materials necessary from our own library and then work with Carol and Katie to make sure that what I put together is what they need, and then they can have the hearing.
All right, I'm ready for that.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, before there's a motion, if you'll allow me.
Yes, a little bit, okay.
It's not further questions here. So at least when it comes to town meeting, it's really helpful, even though it's an extra step. But it's really helpful in showing the continued support for a project, to have those continuous actions by town meeting over years. And so there's, a lot of benefit, to have articles about this, projects that are complicated, like the Herring River Restoration Project that has multiple steps, that to have those, and they're actually very important when you're making grant applications as well, because you can point to the actions of town meeting and show that there's continued community support for a project. And so there's a lot of benefit, even though it's a little bit of extra work.
Josh, do you have a motion?
I do.
I'd like to hear it if I could.
Mr. Chair, I move that the Select Board, having determined to offer property located at Williams Pond, Assessor's Map 440, to the Cape Cod National Seashore, in exchange for a fee interest in a parcel of land on Jaquested Neck Road for an easement off Bound Brook Island Road, vote that the acquisition and near contemporaneous transfer of the Williams Pond property to the Cape Cod National Seashore in furtherance of the Herring River Restoration Project are not subject to Section 70-1 of the Wellfleet General Bylaws, disposal of real property, and or the policy on disposition of town-owned land, Policy 2003-1. I further move that the acquisition and near contemporaneous assignment of the easement off Bound Brook Island Road to the owner of the property at 695 Bound Brook Island Road are similarly not subject to Section 70-1 of the Wellfleet General Bylaws and or policy of on disposition of town-owned land. I further move to refer this matter to the Open Space Committee for a public hearing before annual town meeting.
Second.
for discussion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, but let's make this brief.
So we were talking about having articles on the town meeting warrant. Is that still the intent? Because that motion could possibly exempt having those articles on town meeting.
That was the purpose of
That
the
was the-
first question I asked to town council, and I believe that they said that we would still have articles at town meeting, even if we decided that.
Yeah, we have
didn't
to go to
apply.
town.
So
Yeah, we have to go to town meeting.
So,
I believe that
For both of
concern
them?
is moot.
and in some ways, these are extra steps that cost extra time.
Yeah,
extra
but
money.
it's transparency too, so I
Okay.
think it's good for it's
I
good.
think it's important to have the public hearing.
Okay,
We are absolutely going to have this before town meeting.
Yes,
I'm all fine with it.
Okay, as long as that's the case, I'm good.
okay. No, there was never any intent not to have it before
Right.
town
Yeah,
meeting.
we have to have this. This is going to town meeting. This is the other thing we're saying through this, this motion.
So is there any further discussion?
No.
Okay, then let's have a roll call vote.
Josh, aye?
Sheila, aye.
Ryan, I.
And John, aye. Passes 4-0 with one abstention.
Okay, thank you.
And do we now, was that, I mean recusal, I'm sorry, 4-0 with one recusal.
Thank you, Council
Was
Klein.
that the motion we needed to pass?
I believe so.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, we're good, right, Katie?
yes, you're good.
We didn't
Thank you
have
so
to-
much.
It's early tonight, so remember,
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good night.
good night, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Katie.
Good night.
Thanks, Carol.
Okay, then we move on to business item B, to determine if opinions from town council should be released. Tom?
Where did this go?
Mr. Chairman, I have received over the past few months a couple of requests to have an opinion from town council released. I checked with KP Law, Carolyn Murray, and you see on the page that her opinion is that the opinion is not public and is subject to attorney-client privilege. However, the select board may vote to waive the privilege. There's been requests. I would be not diligent if I didn't bring them to you with the question in the response from council.
Through the chair.
Yes.
So is the question whether particular opinions, whether we wish to waive the privilege with respect to particular opinions, or is it, are we going to waive privilege sort of with respect to all opinions as going forward?
My specific thought here was just this one opinion that is being requested to be, the policy can be revisited, but I didn't think this was the time to do that.
Okay, and then through the chair, I seem to remember at some point, and I think I was chair at the time, there was a vote to allow the chair to release an opinion of council. Does anyone else remember that?
I wasn't there, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the vote, but if we want to formalize that, we should really have a written policy that we can refer to.
We can put one together.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I was just trying to kind of, through the chair, just collect all the information that I can remember on the topic. I agree, we should have a policy on it, but if the town administrator's question is whether to waive privilege with respect to this particular opinion, that, I guess that's the narrow thing we're voting on
That's what we're
tonight.
looking at tonight.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
it wasn't.
And there
Thank
has
you,
been
everybody.
A lot of requests on that.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no objection to release this specific opinion. I think it's important, and it's caused quite a bit of frustration amongst the town for a number of years, and it's just good to get everything out in the open. I've seen other correspondence where there's been requests for the board to just unanimously waive privilege on all future opinion, and I don't believe that's prudent.
I don't either.
But I have a question, and I might be admitting to a mistake, and so if you would indulge me for a moment, as a new member of the Wellfleet Affordable Housing Trust, I had some questions around what we could and could not do with the trust funds. So I went to Tom and I asked Tom to get town council's opinion on a specific matter. We received that opinion. I then forwarded that opinion to the rest of the trust. Now, did I violate the select board privilege by doing so? And if I do, I apologize. It wasn't a contentious question, but I want to make sure that I'm doing this by the book. And so if the rest of the board could indulge me on what the proper policy would be, I would appreciate it.
So
I don't have, go ahead.
Yeah, through the chair. I mean, I think as it stands, town council, an opinion of town council is privileged until the select board votes to waive it. But thank you for your transparency, and it's very understandable. But as it stands now, it's confidential until we vote.
No.
Unless my colleagues disagree.
No, that would be the procedure, would be for you to bring that, put that on as an agenda item before us, and then
Understood.
it'll just like we have this.
I apologize.
That's all right. It's an honest mistake.
I would offer to make a motion after this motion to waive privilege if we so choose, because I think the cat's already out of the bag for that. And happy to share it with everyone.
Thank you, Josh.
I don't know if we can, because
No,
that
it's not on the
specifically
agenda.
isn't on the agenda.
We can put it on for next.
We can do it next.
We'll send it to the people who have queried, and we'll put it up online.
Understood.
We do have a policy on legal opinion, when it's, from a board or a committee, or when it's being asked by a board or committee. All the members of the board or committee are supposed to receive a written copy of the response. And, you know, it was drafted it's written that way because I would say there were examples where opinions were being provided basically through chairs and done, I would say, through the lens or incompleteness of those chairs, and not providing everybody on the committee with the same level of advice as the chair. And that was creating a lot of issues. It wasn't necessarily about the select board or not. It was just the function of these boards or committees. So there is that policy. But I think we need a more holistic approach to, particularly when there's not matters that are detrimental to the town's interests, on you know, allowing town council opinions to be more readily available.
I agree that we can talk about my step at a future meeting. However, the agenda item is pretty vague. It just says determination to release or not release opinions from town council. But anyways, we can move on.
So we'll get back to addressing specifically this one. I see no reason not to release it myself.
I do not either.
I agree.
And it would just satisfy a lot of questions for people.
Yeah, and I think in relation to this one, unless there's any reason to go further, I'm ready for a motion.
I think I might have one in my head.
Okay.
And I'm open to friendly amendments, but I move that the select board has determined that town council's opinion regarding Mr. Curley's appointment to Maurice's Campground Planning Committee by the town administrator be made public.
Second.
Okay, any hands up? I don't see any. Okay, in that case, roll call vote.
Is that a sufficient motion?
I would have said waive privilege, but it's the same thing. So Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Brian?
Brian, aye.
John, aye.
Okay, good.
Okay, passes 5-0.
I thank the board.
And that concludes the business part of the meeting, and now on to select board reports. Does anyone have a report? Barbara?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago, I attended a sort of informal meeting that was convened by Nancy Medoff, who's a select board member in Truro, and Hadley Luddy, our rep, with representatives from Outer Cape towns, just to talk about regionalization issues. And the group doesn't have a name, and it doesn't have any sort of specific issues it's going to focus on yet, but this is the sort of thing that we always ask one another for approval to, attend these meetings on behalf of the select board. So I could explain a few of the things that were talked about, but they're the things that you can imagine, because these issues come up repeatedly. And it doesn't have a particular, there's no deliverable that's been identified yet. Right now, it's just kind of a discussion group. So I guess I would ask for, I guess, no, I can't do it now because it's not on the agenda. So I guess my announcement, my report is that I attended this meeting and at the next meeting, I will ask for the board's approval to continue attending these meetings.
If I may?
Yes.
So I was, that meeting, so I'm glad you brought it up because
Yeah.
I couldn't find any meeting. And it was brought to my attention by wearing my other hat, Commissioner Forrest, who's also a selectman in the town of Yarmouth. And he said that he became aware of some regional meeting with the Outer Cape Town leaders. And did I attend, and why didn't I know about it? Because we're in the business of doing shared services and creating services that will help towns and that sort of thing. So I don't have a problem with you going to it. I would just like to know the schedule because I would like to go to it as well.
Yes.
Because I think it would be an interesting conversation that most of the towns are having in different ways. And, I'd just like to hear people's ideas
Yes.
and comments on that, so.
Yep, I totally agree, but we should probably defer discussion, but thank you for raising that point, and I will ask for it to be on an upcoming agenda for a little more discussion.
Great.
So thank you.
I just didn't know if there really was one, or was this a rumor, so it's good to know that it was.
Yep.
All right.
I have correspondence, but I also printed out the wrong week. So let me see if I can pull that up quickly.
While you're doing that, I'll just give a very quick
Announcement, go ahead.
update. I had a conversation today with someone from Congressman Keating's office. This goes to the issue of dredging, both the permitting logjam we ran into with the mooring field and the permitting issue with ongoing maintenance dredging. I did find out, I'd been under the impression that one of our neighboring congressmen, Seth Moulton, was on a subcommittee that oversees the civilian portion of the Army Corps' mission. Found out that their website, Moulton's website, is a little bit out of date, that he is no longer on that subcommittee, and no one from the Massachusetts congressional delegation is on it. So the gentleman with whom I spoke is going to look into other avenues to approach from the congressional angle to see if we can get the Corps to work with us, become somewhat independent from the guidance they got from National Marine Fisheries Service, which they are not, as I understand it, legally bound to follow. He's going to ascertain or verify or confirm whether that's the correct statement, and then work from there. I just wanted to let people know that I haven't been ignoring this, that I'm continuing to work on it with a view towards somehow breaking this logjam and making it clear that what we're trying to do is the environmentally as well as economically sound thing, and we need their help. With that, are there any other reports?
Josh has his correspondence.
I'm going to go quick, as always, I try, but these are the correspondences between July 8th, after our meeting, to today. As we said in announcements, there is a hearing notice for the Cape Cod Commission Subcommittee Regional Policy Plan Update. We did receive a legal opinion regarding the Wellfleet Affordable Housing Trust. We received a legal opinion regarding the appointments of select board members to town committees. We received a letter expressing concern with the Maurice's Campground Planning Committee and Maurice's Master Plan. We received various emails regarding the scheduling of future meetings in between various boards and committees. Various emails regarding citizens' legal counsel regarding a vessel, various emails from a citizen's legal counsel regarding a vessel at the marina. Multiple letters disappointed with the chair's action to cut off an individual's public comment at our last meeting. A letter from the chair to the individual that they cut off. Multiple letters from property owners affected by property tax minimums for beach stickers. An email from a citizen requesting information about the targeted watershed management plan. An email from a citizen asking about monitoring regarding the targeted watershed management plan. An email from the TA confirming they requested an extended public comment period for the targeted watershed management plan. An email that the state extended the public comment to the targeted watershed management plan until August 8th. We got confirmation from our executive assistant that letters received by the select board were shared with the Board of Health regarding the targeted watershed management plan. I'm trying to categorize all these. We got an email from the Wellfleet Affordable Housing Trust requesting a meeting date to continue the conversation regarding setting a short-term rental tax policy. We received a press release that Barnstable County secured $2.8 million from the Gates Foundation grant. We have various letters from Massachusetts Division of Marine Fisheries regarding various fishing regulations, fishing seasons. Letter from the Wellfleet Assembly from our Wellfleet Assembly delegate regarding new county regulation proposals. That is a reference to the first piece of correspondence I spoke to. We received a resignation letter from a member of the Open Space Committee. We received resignation letters from 2 members of the Board of Health. We received a legal opinion regarding the Williams Pond parcel and the Boundbrook Island parcel that we spoke about. We received an email from Mr. Curley regarding his previous filings with the town clerk regarding the appearance of conflict of interest pertaining to Maurice's. We received the fiscal year 25 IT summary from Barnstable County, and it was excellent. End of year 25 budget transfer documents were received. I drafted and shared a sewer commission charge and mission document. A notification for a Vibrio illness linked to oysters harvested in Wellfleet was received. Various emails regarding scheduling on the joint Select Board Board of Health meeting. The Nauset Public School System appointed Mr. Dwayne Estevez as the new Director of Finance and Operations. We received a number of emails from Verizon about a new pole they'd like to install on Grosse Hill Road. We received a new set of guidance and text of open meeting law from the state. We received word that we've hired a housing coordinator. Congratulations to that individual. Sorry, Tom, I know I didn't steal your thunder. I'm sorry. Give us the details.
More detail.
I'm almost done, I promise. We shared the decentralized sewer district proposal with the Board of Health. We received the sad news that Patrick Finn, the town's swimming lesson leader and longtime lifeguard and instructor, has passed away. We received a letter from a citizen asking the board to institute a policy to release opinions from town council, with the exception of those rendered in executive session. Last 4, I promise. Made aware that open meeting law complaint, we were made aware of an open meeting law complaint against the Conservation Commission. We received a number of citizen complaints regarding the marina from a single individual. A letter regarding the dissatisfaction of a member from Maurice's Campground Planning Committee, and the writer wished to share the letter they sent us to the Maurice's Campground Planning Committee before their next meeting. We received a sewer cat analysis from GHD for a grant proposal that has a new sewer plan. And then there is we received a notice about Immigration and Customs Enforcement access to Medicaid data from the county.
Thank you.
May I speak to one of those items? Maybe
Yes,
even
certainly.
two, but one was about the grant that was received by the county, and it was the county's septic testing center, known as Mass Tech. And we're very familiar with them here because they come and talk about, what different innovations there are. But they do testing for all various developers, businesses that are interested in perfecting sewer systems. And so it's a feather in their cap that the Gates Foundation did give them $2 million to test a particular toilet type of model. And it really is something that they hope to use in third world countries at this point where there's a lack of water, the ability to build infrastructure around toilet systems and such. So would this be something that we could all use in the future? I'm not sure, but it would be way in the future if that was so, because homes are already developed and these systems are something different. But it is a feather in their cap, so congratulations to them. And if they have more questions, they can always refer to the website, Mass Tech, that they would find on capecod.gov, and they could find who they could talk to and get more information about these things. They're also opening up, they've gotten a lot of different grants. They are developing a water testing center and education center, which is going to be available to anyone on Cape Cod that can go and visit and see what is it that this is what we're all talking about when we're talking about septic systems and water and preserving water. That is going to be the place that they will be able to find things, and there'll be labs and classrooms, I think, at a certain point. But that will be opening by the end of this summer, and if there's a grand opening, I will be sure to let everyone know and that you have your invitation. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any further on the board? Seeing none, Tom? And-
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I have a few things, and it's not 10 o'clock tonight.
Yes,
Right.
no,
I
keep
will-
going.
I will
We'll
ask
go
for
fast.
your
We might be able to get
indulgence
this
as
done
well.
by 7:30.
First, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Bugby so he can give you a ice machine update.
Oh,
All right, John?
Good evening, folks. Can you hear me okay?
yes.
Yes.
Okay. And I know you have waited long enough, and I'm here for the ice machine update. So here we go. So the first stage of work has been completed, which is the platform that is really the base for allowing everything else to happen. So from here, that work was completed, I think, late, either Monday or late last week. I'm not sure, but either way, that work is done. So now the work to coordinate the actual machine and the installation of the machine will happen. Once that's done, then comes the final piece, which is the enclosure and the bin to hold the ice, and that's it. So first stage is done, 2 is being coordinated, 3 after that, and then hopefully we'll be done. So that's the update.
Do we have any sort of a timeline?
So I will tell you, Mr. Chair, that this stage of work was supposed to be done by June 30th, but there were a number of mitigating factors, supply chain issues. It's construction in the summer on Cape Cod. It's not easy. But timeline, I'm hoping that ice will begin flowing. I'm hoping by mid to the end of August. Middle end August is what best case scenario is, but I remain hopeful.
All right, thank you, John.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, John. I do want to announce that we have hired a housing coordinator. The housing groups did the initial interviews, brought the finalists to me. In HR, we had a second interview, and very, very pleased that Ann Schiffenhaus has agreed to take this position on. She will be starting toward the end of August. She has some family matters that she's got to do between now and then. And I have to inform the select board that sadly, we will have to commandeer your office.
Again? Again?
Well, it should be
For a
used.
period of time, because there is no room in the inn.
Right.
And we need to take that back. I'm sorry,
That's quite all right.
Mr. Chairman.
Well, it's not,
We're doubling up down there now in some areas, so.
Through the chair,
yes.
I saw her, background and resume. She's phenomenal.
Yeah, it does.
I-
It sounds like
I-
a great background.
We have a great housing coordinator in Truro, and I consider us very lucky in Truro. I consider us equally lucky here to hire this individual.
In this second interview, it took about a minute and a half to figure out this was the right person, so. Very, very impressive.
Is there a cubby hole over at the Gestalt Center that I can?
No, Mr. Chairman, we have looked. For
The
you,
conference,
maybe I
you
can
go to
get you a
conference.
spot.
Well, I just want someplace, if I want to call somebody in Washington,
Yeah.
I want the number that shows up on their
Right.
phone to say Town of Wellfleet, not John Wolf.
We can make something work, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, that's all I'm concerned about.
I'll leave early so you can use my desk.
And that's, never mind. I'm not gonna, I'll make it later. I do want to address, there was a letter to the editor a couple of weeks ago, a week and a half ago now, 2 weeks tomorrow. And I'm not one that follows up and gets into writing, back and forth. That's not a good way, but I do want to address it if I could. The letter to the editor indicated that we didn't have a discharge permit for the sewer plant. And I think there was a difference in wording, so I think it's more of that than it is that. I do want to note that we have our discharge permit. We could not have gone out to bid for the sewer plant for the whole project if we had not received the discharge permit. I use the term permit when speaking with this individual as it related to if there was going to be a need to do septic hauling toward the end of the project, if there was a difference between the time the plant started and the time the people for the apartments moved in. That will cause some septic hauling. Regarding that tight tank, there isn't a formal permit. Okay, so there may have been a miscommunication on the words. We have to get approval. But we won't ask for that for much later because we want to see how the construction is going to go. So I just wanted to be sure that there was we have our discharge permit, everything's good to go, and we will need an approval as we get closer to the time as to what we need, how much we need, and the state will grant that, I'm sure.
Thank you.
On the swap shop, we're just finishing up on that. The electrical work has come in a little high, so we've been working on getting an electrician in. Matt will be doing that. We'll be contacting to get that work done. The Herring River folks, and I use that in broadest term, we had a really good meeting led by Carol Ridley and Matt Farrer with the Department of Marine Fisheries and the Department of Environmental Regulation. Because of what's happening with some of the federal funding, we're having to move some things around, and we had to go back and talk to them about timing, and it was a very positive meeting. And I just want to let you folks know what a great team you have on that Herring River steering. Between Jay Norton and Carol Ridley, Jay Norton, Matt Fair, the town is very, very well represented, and I just want you to know that. We are in the midst of the recruitments for the health agent and the finance director again. And we'll see how we do on that. We've also moved to some of the universities and talked to some of the political science and public administration departments as well. So the departments are working on scoping what is necessary for FY27. I know we're only in the second or third week of FY26. We met with the department heads this morning on a couple of issues, but one was based on what I see coming from the governor's office and based on what I see coming out of Washington and concerns that we might have on what is going to flow and what isn't going to flow. Not a good or bad comment. We just don't know. I have asked them to tighten their belts, that this is going to be a frugal year. I don't expect a lot of new and shiny objects to be showing up in this year's budget. That's really what we're trying to do. And we're starting to prepare for contract negotiations with the bargaining units. Most of the units come due at the end of the fiscal year, so I am waiting for the letters to demand a bargain. That's the terminology we use. From the unions, and we'll get ready to go on that, and I'll inform council, and we'll be ready to roll. I do want a meeting in an executive session with the select board to set the parameters for negotiations, remembering that this is their negotiations, so we have to be a little flexible in the pool on what we do. We also, Jay and I had an excellent meeting last week with Whitewater. There are some issues, as you all know, lingering with the water department. We have met with DEP as well, and we're on a good track to get that set. We will need to look at a new SCADA system, which it runs the water tank, basically. It's the SCADA system, because the person we currently have is retiring out. Each of the SCADA systems are a bit proprietary, so there will have to be an RFP on that as well, or a bid. We know that one engineering firm, one of our neighboring towns is talking to, we're going to talk to them as well to see if we can maybe combine it into one, not one system, but one contract.
Right. Maybe save.
Yeah, so the ponds contract with the Association to Protect Cape Cod has been signed and issued. So that's good for this fiscal year. I guess that's really it. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, one other thing. We are opening the bid for the engineers to help the select board, myself, and the sewer commissioners. That was going to be open last week. I think I said that to you last week. At the request of one of the potential bidders, we have extended that out till this Thursday, just so people are aware that there was a week delay on that.
Okay.
And that, Mr. Chairman, I am done.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Now we move on to topics for future discussion.
Mr. Chair, I have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Through conversations with the Wellfleet Affordable Housing Trust, and I'll caveat that a lot of this is contingent upon how the Board of Health decides to move forward with their regulations. But the conversation and the request is that we revisit the EINA upgrade grant program and possibly consider either creating a new fund that then flows into the Wellfleet Affordable Housing Trust to support those individuals making under 120% of AMI, so that we can then supplement whatever the town gives to everyone. Or possibly we could rewrite the program where there is, it's a sliding scale based on gross income. So the maximum would go to those in most need, and it would taper off for those that have more means. So I think for a future agenda item, we might want to revisit this. However, I think it would be premature to revisit it until after we understand where the Board of Health regulations are.
Yeah, through the chair,
Yeah.
if I could dovetail on that for a second.
Please.
We are also working on, when the town established the reimbursement rate of $12,500 back in, I think, 2021. The cost, that was the estimated cost of the packages to be put in the ground with these systems. We know that that's not the case. There are 5 or 6 or 7 people that are kind of caught in the crosswinds of these two.
Yes.
Okay, and I believe that the town really should take a look at seeing if we can augment that some in this interim period. The problem that I believe we ran into is when, and I talked to Carolyn Murray about this too, when the town authorized the money for the IA grants and that type of thing, it didn't give any administrative authority to anyone, so that either Tom or the health agent, I'm not, Jane Doe, if they were working here, could arbitrarily make an increase to that. And while that's nice for us to be able to have that kind of authority, I don't think that's right. I think it's a policy decision that needs to come before the select board, and that decision be shared with the health board. I think that we could, I'm going to write it up, I'm going to give you an idea, but I think we can do something to help. It may take a transfer of some stabilization money to augment what we've already voted, to be sure that this isn't an open-ended thing, but this is for this interim period where people have been caught in the middle with the new regs. I'm working on that. I hope to have it for you for the 5th.
Okay. Exciting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Josh, is that it?
I had one more, and I'm.
Sorry, Josh, I didn't mean to.
No, that's quite, it's a totally different subject, but still on housing. I think it's excellent that we have a housing coordinator. I want to make sure that they're set up for success and that they have clear direction on their priorities and goals. And so I'm not sure if this needs to be a select board matter or if just the TA can do this themselves, but I do think it would be worthwhile for the town administrator to create a working group where there's one representative from each of the housing groups in town, and that they become a bit of a steering committee for this individual to really help them on board, give them the lay of the land, and give them their goals and priorities. And so could be a future agenda item for the select board to discuss, or the town administrator can just take it on, but I wanted to bring that up as well.
Barbara?
Yeah, I hope we can talk about that, because I might have some thoughts on that as well, but my item is ADUs in the seashore.
That's
Could that go on a?
That's on for the 5th.
Great, thank you all.
Sheila?
I think we should discuss maybe a change. It might have to go through town meeting or warrant or just the board, but I was talking to Tom, and I know that, when I was first on the county, a lot of business couldn't get done immediately because they had to wait until commissioners voted on it. And I do think that there's some restrictions on what Tom can do on a daily basis, and I think we should discuss how can we increase his authority in some areas. I mean, for instance, if he was going to hire a new person, that salary all has to be discussed. I mean, you can spend up to so much money, and
Well, on contracts, I can go up to 50,000.
1,000. And, 50,000 isn't a lot. I mean, that's not a contract amount. So I just think that's something we should think about in making, and I know you weren't aware of this, that I was going to come up with this, but I think it's a conversation we need to have on how much authority we can have Tom so he can execute the daily functions that he needs to without having to come and hold things up. It's just, government is slow and it's deliberate, but we don't have to make it difficult for the people who are carrying it out. So just a conversation. So that's a topic I'd like to have on as well.
Okay. Would that include increasing the baseline for the,
Yeah,
For their
what
authority.
authority, he can make decisions up to a certain point, and I think we need to
Maybe
look at
increase
what
that
are we,
to
what is it
100,000.
now, and where could it be more helpful if we extended those?
given the inflationary process?
Yes, and all that. So.
Okay. Anyone else?
Just
Ryan,
as
do you-
I'm sorry.
No, I don't see you.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Just as an aside, we were talking about regionalization earlier. I was going through a file of contracts because I was looking for something, and I came across an MOU that dates back to when Dan was TA, and there was an MOU about regional sharing services between the four towns, and all the select boards and all the TATMs had signed on at that point, but I don't know what happened since
Went on
then.
a shelf, probably.
But I was just interesting, it's been
Yes.
an ongoing issue for you
Which
here and
one
out in
was
the
it?
west as well.
which one? What was it specific to?
It was just about working toward regionalization as for communities. There was not a particular position involved, it was just, they were gonna set up a group to do more regionalization discussion.
Okay.
I can send it to you, I can send you the contract so you can see it.
There was an agreement between Eastham and Wellfleet to regionalize the fire chief. And this goes back a few years, but we had both fire chiefs approaching the end of their careers. And so they came to an agreement to have a shared fire chief, and then they both walked away.
Right.
So,
Yeah, this wasn't that, but I'll send it out so you can see it.
You know, if you could just indulge me on a story, when I did first become commissioner, people really became aware of the county because I was this Outer Cape commissioner, which they hadn't had before. And so the Outer Cape towns did come together, and they called themselves the Committee of Correspondence, going back to the old revolution. And how can we, do these things? And procurement was the easiest thing. Well, you can go to the county and get better prices if you use their procurement and all that. But then they started thinking, well, we have all these housing authorities. Why can't we consolidate this? So, we said, okay, we'll discuss that. And so after that was being discussed, we opened up our meeting, and there were 15 housing authority people in our meeting, which never is attended, all saying why that could never happen. So just to let you know, it's
That was a Deval Patrick days, right?
And then there was,
Yeah.
and then there was the the police chiefs. So it turns out they all have different vendors, they all have different, so it's a heavy lift
Yeah.
when you're trying to do that. But there are other things that are low-hanging
I'll
fruit that could be a good starting
It
point.
was just an interesting read, that's all.
It's interesting process.
All right, I guess we'll move on to minutes. And we'll start with the minutes of
Has
June
everybody read
17th.
any amendments? I don't have any amendments.
No, I didn't.
For this one, no.
I don't have any for the 17th.
I'm not that smart.
Ryan?
No.
Yeah, there's these four.
Okay.
I have two small amendments for the 25th. That's the only thing that I have.
Okay, and I have one for the 8th.
So I had one for the 25th as well.
Okay, well, why don't we just take them one at a time then?
Fair
So
enough.
I'll take a motion on the 17th.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the meeting minutes of June 17th, 2025 as printed.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye?
Sheila,
Brian,
aye.
aye.
And John, aye. Passes 5-0. June 25th.
Mr. Chair, I have two small amendments, one on page 3. About 2/3 down the page, on the very left-hand side, the word "weren't" should be "wasn't." In the sentence, "we're very serious and wasn't comfortable voting on the matter without."
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Did you send these already? Because I changed the ones that you both sent me for the 25th.
I'm just reading what's in the printed packet. Has it changed since?
Okay.
Because this is different than what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, I tried to,
Okay.
you guys had both emailed me, so I tried to change them before I
Yep.
printed.
So, and then there's just one more thing on page 7 of the 25th. The last sentence before it gets bold, strike the word "and," and then add the word "must" in between frame and B. So that sentence should read, "The board discussed this further with Yeston, asking if another change order comes to the town, a time frame must be added to the change order." Please.
Got it.
And so through the chair,
Yeah.
just going back to that on page 3, I think you did kind of capture what I had emailed you about, but I seem to have dropped out of, after Yeston stated the assertions were serious, wasn't comfortable voting on the matter without the individual present, to respond to the comments, can you just put in Carboni agreed? Because I did agree with Josh's remarks.
Okay.
Thank you. And that's it for the 25th, I think. So I would move to approve the minutes of June 25th, 2025 as amended.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye?
Sheila, aye.
Brian, aye.
And John, aye. Passes 5-0. And we move on to July 8th. Does anyone else have,
You said you did.
I do, but does anyone else before?
I'm ready, just tell me where you need me.
Okay, page 2, toward right before District Attorney Robert Galliboy. Merle spoke to the board. That would be Lily Merle. That there's no first name there.
Okay, yeah, usually there isn't, but I guess
Oh,
there were two on, so that makes
Okay.
sense.
And also, in that sentence, Chair Wolf explained that this was a personnel matter and it didn't need to be addressed again. I actually explained that it was a personnel matter and it could not be addressed by the Select Board.
Got it.
That's all I got.
Okay, so, Mr. Chair, I move approval of meeting minutes for July 8th, 2025 as amended.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Brian, aye.
And John, aye. Passes 5-0, and now we finally get to July 14th.
No amendments?
I don't have any.
I don't.
Anyone else? Seeing none?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the meeting minutes for July 14th as, 2025 as printed.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye.
Sheila,
Brian,
aye.
aye.
And, Ryan?
Brian,
you-
aye.
Oh, okay. And John, aye. Passes 5-0.
Okay.
And now we get to adjournment.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for the
At a
flyover.
at a record-breaking 7:30 in the evening.
Yes, 7.
Did you approve, did you call for a vote? Did you call
Did
for
we
a
get
vote?
yeah, I
Got a
did.
second and a
A
motion.
roll call vote then.
Barbara, aye.
Josh, aye.
Sheila, aye.
Brian, aye.
And John, aye.
Okay.
At 7:31,
Thank you very much.
something of a record.
Tis.